Marcus Smart got a contract extension from the Boston Celtics, 4 years, $77 million extension, $19 million on average. They also extended Robert Williams 4 years, $54 million. And quick question, Marcus Smart playing point guard. They announced he will play point guard. Can the Celtics reach their potential with Smart playing point guard? What do you think?
That's a tough question because, like you said, with Westbrook, he's very volatile. I think Smart is the same way. You don't know defensively, you're going to get the same guy, but on offense, in terms of being a playmaker, being a scorer, being a spot-up shooter, you don't know what you're going to get with Marcus Smart on a given night. He's a very wild and erratic basketball player, but I think, with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, I think they can definitely – their potential right now is in Eastern Conference Finals. I think that's their ceiling right now, their potential. I think that's what they're shooting for. And I think with Smart, he's not a bad pick-and-roll playmaker. He's not a bad point guard. I think with Smart being at the one, that's your best bet right now. And I think they can definitely reach their potential with Smart being at the one. It's more going to be on the defensive end. And if he's not – and if it's – he can just drop the nights where he's just a little erratic, then they'll reach that potential.
I'm a big Marcus Smart guy.
Of course you are.
I'm a big Marcus Smart guy.
You were talking about him
because
earlier.
It's bigger than just what he does on the court. What he means to that locker room is why it's essential for him to be on this roster. He's one of those guys, like I mentioned with Davion Mitchell. He's going to give you what he gives you in quarter 1 to quarter 4. He's going to be going all night long. Pause. That being said, his defense is one of the best in the league for a guard, for sure. Offensively, his three-point shot could be significantly better. Not horrible. Shot 33% last year. About
a little bit below average.
Definitely, but about what he's been averaging for the last few years. So it's not like he's dropped off. He shot 1% less than what he shot the year prior. I think that because of his presence in the locker room, he's so essential to what the Celtics are trying to do, especially when you have guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who are obviously way more talented than he is, but they don't have the leadership qualities that he possesses. And with you take Marcus Smart out of the picture. I'm cool with you take Kemba out of the picture, no problem about it, because he's smiling after they're losing a game, regardless of how he plays.
Partying with A Boogie.
He argued with him?
No, partied.
Oh.
After they lost to the Nets, he went right to a party that night.
I would party with A Boogie too.
Yeah, me too.
No doubt about
No doubt about it.
But make sure you don't get caught. Don't
How
get caught after
you
you
not
lose.
get caught? He's Kemba
Very
in New
true.
York.
Very true.
He's
I
home.
mean, it's
You're
A
right.
Boogie too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Come on, they're taking a flick together.
spitting.
A Boogie, yo, let's take a flick.
Especially in 2021, you're
Huh?
popped. Regardless, like I was saying, Marcus Smart is very impactful in that sense of the game, and if he can just elevate his shooting a little bit, it's not like his field goal percentage is what bothers me so much. Shooting under 40%, just under 40% from the field
What's
is
his EFG though?
If you could look that up for me, he shot field goal percentage 39.8, so it's just under. It's not like he needs to be that offensively. Like I was saying before, I feel as if you got guys like Payne Pritchard that is on the rise. Definitely could be. Yeah, no, not good. Payne Pritchard who could be have a little bit more offensive responsibility, and then Marcus Smart really give full effort to the defensive side of the ball. I'd be more confident with that, especially being the starting guard. It's not like all starting guards are going to be or that are amazing scorers. Marcus Smart's an amazing defender. Pat Bev was a starter. He's not a scorer at all. He's an amazing defender. So I do believe that he can play the point guard position. I don't think that he's going to have the offensive presence that Kemba had or any other kind of point guard similar to Kemba. He doesn't need to be that because he is so essential to the locker room that I think that it's more than fine that they gave him this extension.
So he shoots between 16 and the three-point line. He shoots 46%.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
He's a good mid-range
yeah,
shooter.
it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And his 3-point, he shot his career high was 2018. He shot 36. He went down to 34. Went down to 33. So it's not drastic, but it is a drop. And I want to see him improve, especially with the fact that you have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. All you have to do is just be that corner shooter, that spot up shooter for them when they need to kick it, when they're driving to the basket. If he can just bring the percentage up a little bit, he'll be more than fine.
I love this for Boston because they're locking up their players long term, and Robert Williams is Smart. Now they have Tatum, Brown, Smart, and Williams all locked up. I think it's so good to lock these guys up because not only do you know that you have their rights for years to come, but also if a star player becomes available, you have the contracts to match
Bradley
their
Beal.
contracts.
Well said.
Bradley Beal is a guy that has been rumored. So that's why I think it's good. And Ime Udoka has said that he wants the ball in Marcus Smart's hands. He wants Smart to be the point guard. Out of college, Oklahoma State, Smart was a point guard. He was supposed to be the Boston Celtics' future point guard. He was supposed to take the mantle from Rajon Rondo. The problem is that when Smart came into the league for the Celtics, IT was traded for, right? Then IT did what he did in Boston. It was electrifying. Smart didn't get a chance to be the point guard.
Yep.
Then they got Kyrie. Then they got Kemba. Marcus Smart was never given the ability to be a point guard.
He's still 26.
He was
too.
always asked to be an off-guard player, off-the-ball guy. And to this point, I mean, last season, 13 points per game, 5.7 assists, 40% from the field, and 33% from three. Last year, at the minutes that were logged for Marcus Smart at the point guard position, he had a net rating of minus 0.4 in 424 minutes. So he's not a positive. He wasn't a positive last year at least. And here's where I was surprised. Because I think Marcus Smart is a hell of a player. He's an elite defender. I think he is better suited to be a point guard. He is 6'3", 6'4", around there. He's better suited to be a point guard. In the 1920 season, he had a 9.9 net rating at point guard. In the 18-19 season, he had a 10.6 net rating. So the Celtics were a plus when he ran the point. But here's where it gets tricky. The Celtics net rating with Marcus Smart on the court with Tatum and Jaylen Brown, this is from 2017. So 2017, 2018. No, it's from 2018, 2019. The past four seasons, regardless.
I got you, because Jaylen Brown was a rookie.
Okay.
Jason Tatum was a rookie 2018.
This past season, they were plus 12.2 with actually no, this is I'm fumbling right now.
That's all right, man.
This past season they were minus 0.3 with Smart on with Tatum and Brown. Two seasons ago they were plus 6.3. 3 seasons ago they were negative 2.8. 4 seasons ago, they were 12.2, plus 12.2. Now, the Celtics net rating with Smart off and Tatum and Brown on this past season, plus 6.2. 2 seasons ago, plus 12.4, which is twice as much as when Marcus Smart is on with Tatum and Brown. 3 seasons ago, plus 7.9. 4 seasons ago, plus 8.3. These stats show that the Celtics are better, or Tatum and Brown are better on the court when Marcus Smart is off the court. Net rating-wise, that's what these stats show. And I know I fumbled it. I made it a little bit confusing to understand. But just know the gist of it is that the Celtics are worse. Well, Tatum and Brown are worse when Smart is on the court with them. They are positive still, but they're better when Smart is off and they're on together. That worries me a little bit, but I think Marcus Smart now having a different defined role is going to be able to embrace that role more, because what this doesn't take into consideration is
what position he was
playing.
playing.
Was Smart the shooting guard? Was he off ball? Was Kemba running the point? Was Kyrie running the point? It doesn't show that. I'm guessing Smart was playing off the ball.
Yeah.
Now that he's playing on the ball, I think it's going to be a different story. But I love this starting lineup. Marcus Smart, Josh Richardson, they just secured him for another year. He's going to make up to $24 million this season and next season combined. Jaylen Brown, Tatum, Robert Williams. And off the bench, they now solved their bench problem with Schroeder, Horford, Nesmith, Pritchard. Jabari Parker's still there. So Jabari or Grant Williams, one of those two guys.
Grant Williams is terrible.
Yeah, he's just a good defender. So I think this is good. I think Marcus Smart in his new defined role can excel. I think he's been dying to play point guard since he got to the NBA.
Def.
He's finally going to get the chance to play point guard, and we'll see how this plays out. But when you mentioned Patrick Beverley, I actually think Pat Bev would be the perfect point guard for the Celtics.
3-and-D.
Because defensive minded, just as good as defender as Marcus Smart, maybe a little bit worse.
Better shooter.
But he's a significantly better shooter.
For sure.
And I think that's what Boston needs. So Patrick Beverley would have been perfect, but Marcus Smart, he has to improve his three-point shooting. We'll see if he improves on that. And we'll see if he is less of a shot chucker, because there are times where he can force the issue. So those are all wait and sees. But I think he can blossom in this new point guard role.